Hi everyone, and welcome to our live session, streaming simultaneously on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, former Twitter.
Love
We're
it.
excited to have you here with us as we unpack the key takeaways from SuccessConnect 2024 and explore how HR can prepare for the future. Our topic for today is what's next for HR teams after SuccessConnect 2024, with a focus on rewards, skills, and talent development. But first, let me introduce my co host, Ilya, who is our head of partnerships at CMOS Cloud. Ilya brings deep expertise in connecting HR leaders with innovative solutions that drive engagement and growth. Welcome, Ilya.
Thanks, Anna. Welcome to you and to Imran as well. It's a real honor to be among both of you, bringing also from your perspective experience. Hopefully, we'll be having as engaging as possible conversation today, and we are looking forward to receive your comments as well from the guest and the audience out there.
Looking forward to it. Joining us as our guest today is the amazing Imran, Global HR Services Leader at APUs, who also brings a wealth of experience in helping organizations transform their HR strategies. We're super glad that we have him on this live today. So, Imran, welcome to you too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. I'm still pumped from Success Connect. Success Connect was amazing. So much energy. It was different this year. Obviously, going overseas in Lisbon, but even the whole energy there, right? So I'm super excited to keep talking about it. Every customer conversation I'm having too, I keep bringing up Success Connect. So.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We're still under the impression the three of us basically had the opportunity to attend Success Connect in Lisbon this year. And as I saw it, Success Connect wasn't just about sessions and keynotes, it was also about the people and the energy, the connections, all these things that Imran you mentioned, and this buzz around how HR is evolving. And also, let's not forget Lisbon's charm. So
Mhm.
let's kick things off with a bit of audience interaction. To everyone joining us live, we'd love to hear from you. So drop a comment below and share the first word that comes to your mind when you think of Success Connect. Whether it's innovation, collaboration, networking, whatever it is, we can't wait to see your thoughts in the comments. So, Imran, before we dive into the serious stuff, I have to ask, what's your maybe favorite moment from the parties, or maybe a favorite dish that you're still thinking about?
I don't know if I could talk about some of my favorite ones, but no. Overall, it was great. I guess one of the things I had never been to Lisbon before, so I got to
Me
try the,
neither.
the pastel de natas, right? So that
Mhm.
was completely different. I will say that the food at the conference was really good, right? Because you're not used to that at conferences. They had the little orange ginger shots the next day. The snacks they had were really good. Obviously, the party was a lot of fun. It's great to be out there and see so many people, but also in that different environment, right, where people are a little looser and more free, as opposed to when you see someone in a session. So it was all great. It was all great.
Yeah, the nata was definitely also my favorite dish. Delicious sweet pastry. It was such a treat. However, beyond the food, it was also exciting to connect with a variety of professionals, including many of our customers. For me personally, it was a pleasure to see customers from Colgate, OMV, Majid Al Futtaim, and many others. It's always a privilege to meet customers in person, and the energy of the event made it all the more memorable. But Success Connect wasn't just about networking, it was also about shaping the future of work. What truly stood out for me is the wealth of innovations that were shared during the sessions. There were some groundbreaking discussions around AI, skills, and talent development. Personally, I was truly impressed to see how closely the vision of CMOS Cloud aligns with SAP's strategic direction, especially when it comes in areas of AI-driven talent management and employee experience. And as someone who is a partner within the SAP ecosystem, we see a lot of potential for complementing SAP solution with ours. And with that in mind, I'd love to hear also from Ilya and from Imran. What were the most inspiring or maybe even surprising takeaways from Success Connect? Imran, would you like to share?
Sure. Yeah. One of the things, I guess maybe it's not surprising, but when you look at it like the past number of years from a success factor standpoint, maybe rightfully so. Obviously, I might have my own point of view here, but the emphasis was always just on talent. And I think that finally swung around this year to success factors finally focusing on the core solutions. And I think, from my point of view, I've implemented this stuff and worked on it for a number of years. That's the right way to approach it, right? And so even the customer stories that you heard on stage at Success Connect, you heard BT Group with their transformation of almost 100,000 people, right? They didn't start directly with, oh, we're just jumping into AI and skills. That might sound good when you're in a sales cycle and you're going from some old technology and now like, oh yeah, I want to have a great skills foundation, but it doesn't work like that, right? You have to make sure your core was solid. So that's why I think those stories really resonated with me, because they started with Success Factors Employee Central, right? Made sure they had a really good foundation. Then they added, time, payroll, and all of that was right. Now they're going and now they're like, all right, let's go do some cool things with AI. Let's turn on Joule, and now let's go get our skills in order, because for skills, and I know we'll talk about this a little bit later, your foundation has to be good, because without that baseline data, then the skills, don't have nearly as much value. So I think it's about making sure that you do things in the right order, and also setting the right expectations at the beginning. So the emphasis on core and payroll and the customer stories, telling how they did it. Some of the breakout sessions I attended to were kind of similar. So to me, I think that's the right way to approach things. And also then you can do things that we'll talk about later too, right? Put a solid rewards and recognition program in place. But it's hard, much harder to do that in the opposite order.
Yeah, you definitely have to have the foundation first.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing those insights. Ilya, what about you? What stood out to you as the most maybe impactful trend or innovation discussed at the event?
First of all, I would like to also share, as Imran did at the beginning, like the personal experience from there. What I've seen at Success. First of all, I was also for the first time in Lisbon, and luckily I didn't get any additional kilos from there because the food was so incredible there. But the energy, because we have been at all these SAP events, especially in the past, like really meeting some people and so on, but bringing people together to share experiences, insights is something that definitely we see really in life on these kind of events. Speaking of which, SuccessConnect wasn't about only tools and technologies. It was about reshaping the how HR impacts the employees' lives daily. What Imran just said, that most of the people that were talking there were all about the talent development, all about the skills, all about these features that are really evolving just recently in the HR world, and HR trends are catching up with that. But of course, many of the people and many of the thought leaders that we will be discussing with were also speaking about, let's start with this employee care and employee engagement topics that are really important for from the employee point of view, not only from the company point of view. Really settle down all the important things that are and all the HR things that are important for the employees themselves, and on top of that build with all these technologies that are newly developed or are emerging very lately. So if I want to put in a couple of words only, definitely something that we'll be even talking today, therefore it's the topic of our discussion today, is definitely rewards recognition, skills, talent development. Not that we have professionalized ourselves in this I would say segment, but really these very pillars are shaping how organizations are future-proofing their HR strategies. So this would be my key takeaways.
Perfect. Thank you, Ilya. So, AI was also a big topic at Success Connect. How do you see AI tools reshaping HR's day to day functions in the next year? Who would like to share?
Ilya,
Imran?
go for it. You want me to
Yeah,
go first?
I'm always
Well,
saying, especially in this, in all of the events that we have been participating in, and everyone is shouting loudly, that AI is definitely here to stay. But
Mhm.
from that perspective, the utilization of AI is very important. How we utilize, how we put it AI into practice. Of course, can have a lot of features and functionalities connected with AIs, but if they are not within the flow of work, if they're not helping and supporting the managers and the business decision makers, then it's just uh, effort, worthless spending on. So it's really, we are hearing the AI, but let's put the AI in the flow of work of the managers in order to really utilize it. So this would be my message from that perspective.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's one of the things that Success Factors has done really well, right? Because if you think about it, ChatGPT now has been out for over a year. When you're working on some task, you could always copy and paste and then work with the AI. But how do you make it as easy as possible for the person that's actually doing it? So while I'm in there, I am a recruiter. I'm filling out a requisition and I have to create a job description. Don't ask them to leave that, put a job description. And by the way, that causes some security risk because now I'm taking, some, maybe sensitive data, putting it into a public large language model that's now fed into the model. Instead, you want to have it within the application you're working on at the time that you're working on it, right? The flow of that work of I'm creating this requisition
Exactly.
right now. I give an overview, and then the AI with one button now supplements and creates this beautiful job description for me, or as an employee I go and do things. So I agree, you have to really build it in there to make it as easy on the end user as possible. And to me, that's the most impactful use case of AI, is putting it right there. Because like I said, you can always take it and take a picture and put it somewhere else and bring it back, but that takes some of the efficiency out of it, and it takes out I think a lot of the people who are not just naturally drawn to AI, they're not going to copy and paste and do it somewhere else there. So how do you make it as easy as possible for the end user? And I think that's one of the things that SAP has done a really, really good job at, is building it into those processes.
Exactly. And what we have been hearing so far is that AI is really going towards the direction of bringing the best employee experience and best employee engagement. And this is in the cornerstone, I would say, and in the essence of AI at the end of the day, alongside with, of course, the data analytics that are here in order to help managers to bring great decisions. I would like to also point out here the part that it's obviously in the title of our today's talk, is the part of the rewards, which is obviously in the cornerstone of employee engagement. So I wanted to made a point here. What I've been hearing also at SuccessConnect is that we are in an era where employees expect rewards to be as unique as they are, and organizations are tasked to deliver meaningful impact recognition that resonates globally, something that you have mentioned, Imran, just recently. And this is where AI combining here and integrated systems like payroll and HR tech, something that you are talking about, are becoming game changers, enabling the companies that we spoke with to personalize rewards and obviously streamline global recognition programs. So from that perspective, personalization powered by AI in creating experiences that truly matters in this way from the employee point of view, and overcoming the complexities of managing global reward strategies, is driving me to my next question, Simran, that I wanted to ask you is, given your expertise in this segment of HR and payroll technology, how do you see this part of data integration and AI influencing how the way organizations design and deliver these rewards and recognition, and at the end of the day, employee engagement practices?
For sure, for sure. I mean, I think you're starting to see some of these, right? So, if you're talking about discussion on like rewards, I think the two biggest parts of that rewards are one, as you have your annual review with your manager, right? Or assuming it's annual, a lot of organizations work that way. So one of the things that SuccessFactors built is compensation insights, right? And once again, that ties back to my original point of how do you make it easy for the person that is doing this. So in this case, I think they actually showed a video on stage at SuccessConnect, and it was like a manager going into their employee's profile. Because as a manager, if I'm sitting here and I'm managing 10 people, let's be honest, it's hard to keep track of what someone did a
Yeah,
month ago, even far more, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, last year. So it's really hard to do that. And I think that's where, if the foundation is solid, as we talked about earlier, but now I can use AI and press that button and get
to
compensation
summarize that.
insights, and boom, now it's summarizing and say, hey, this person, has done really well, but they're still below the median for, their job or compared to their peers. And, that's that personalized insight. It's not, generalized insight. It is for Jane that I'm looking at, her profile, her data set, because we have all this information. Now we can go and do a personalized insight to that. And then the second part of that is obviously people getting the money, people getting paid, right? And so one of the other cool things from Success Connect was, Dan Beck showed an upcoming functionality where you can interact with your pay statement, ask my pay statement functionality. So now you're talking about the manager has a better conversation with the employee for their rewards. Now the employee receives that money, and now they can ask questions about it. Oh, why is the tax so high? Or why is it this? And so no more having to go create a ticket for that type of thing. And so, that to me is more personalized, where I'm having this engagement. I'm able to ask this question. I'm able to get that personalized insight. And then you put a rewards and recognition program around that, right? That's going to help the employees, because even with that, if I get a reward for something, right? Most employees don't know what a gross up is, right? But whereas if I receive a $50 gift card, guess what? The employer, somebody has to
Yeah.
pay taxes on that too, right? And so for you to give $50, you're actually, as an employer, paying whatever, $59.26 or whatever it is, right? But to have the system and the technology that can automatically calculate that $50 gift card that you got, we're grossing it up, doing the taxes for you, and the employee just sees the $50, right?
Maybe we can see also this from the customer's perspective. And Anna, you can share maybe from the customer that we are also having in our, let's say, partnership background. Like, how does, from your perspective and their experiences, recognition and rewards play a role in building these future-ready workplaces that we are talking about?
Well, from working with enterprise clients on recognition platform implementations, I see that recognition truly is the foundation, the cornerstone in building a future ready workplace. Recognition plays a critical role in shaping a company's culture because it fosters a culture of appreciation, a culture of gratitude, where employees feel valued for their contributions. And this is especially important as we see today that workforce becomes more and more diverse and distributed. Furthermore, recognition platforms also contribute to employee retention. So, in a time when talent is in high demand, obviously, employees are more likely to stay with an organization that recognizes their contributions but also offers meaningful rewards. Also, in the context of a future ready workplace, let's say recognition is a powerful tool in order to align employees with the company's goals. We see that we have a rise of remote work and hybrid models, so it's really easy for employees to feel a little bit disconnected from the broader mission of the company. And having a recognition platform basically enables you to have a direct link between individual efforts and organizational success. So, in general, definitely recognition is not just about I don't know, giving kudos or celebrating milestones. It's a truly strategic tool that enhances employee engagement and drives performance. And as we all know, these are essential for building a future-ready workforce.
Thanks, Anna. Something that we really touched upon even from the right beginning, right after the rewards part, is obviously the skills. We have been hearing also very much at Success Connect that skills-driven organizations are taking the lead now. Every organization we have been discussing with, Imran, you might also discuss with a lot of customers there, that there is a shift and move from skills-based approaches and towards skills-based approaches, how organizations are adapting from these job architectures and really these scenarios that somehow are staying now in the past. So it's no longer about the job titles, as we said. It's about identifying and nurturing the right skills and talents to meet the evolving business demands. We have been hearing like companies like Eurobank, for example, forward-thinking organization using SAP success factors to implement skills-first approach, and they are on this journey to of becoming a skills-based company, a skills-first approach. From your perspective, Imran, building on what we have discussed so far about the skills-based approaches, how do you see, again, connecting with the AI and integrated systems like success factors, helping organizations identify these skills gaps and implement, obviously, scalable strategies that align with their business goals? How you think that all the tools that we will be using maybe in the future will help companies to reach the goal and the journey towards skills-based organizations?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I think there is a reality here. We're in a very strange time where all of this innovation is happening. So I think the reality is that different skills will become obsolete and much faster than they ever were in the past, right? And so the way people are going to be working is going to be different. I saw an article earlier this week. It said like 25% of Google's code is being worked on by AI, right? And so to me, if I'm a developer, that's a scary proposition, right? So I do think people need to
Big threat.
start becoming more cross-functional. I think people need to pick up new skills, right? I don't think you can just sit there and assume that, hey, I'm going to become the best Java programmer in the world. I'm going to, and just sit in a corner and just do that for 30 years at home, right? Like, I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I think soft skills are going to become more important. Networking skills are going to be more important, right? Even if you look at like ERPs or systems, Salesforce, SAP, SuccessFactors, whatever it is, right? Right now, if you look at any job within that ecosystem, people want the skills of, hey, I want a success factors expert. But if you fast forward, imagine when AI can help with most of those tasks. So you don't have to be a Salesforce expert because you can accomplish the goal by asking the AI to do it, right? So then what the company is going to look for is fundamentally different. It's not going to say, hey, I want someone who's been working in Salesforce or success factors for 15 years and knows how to do the business processes, because the business processes can become handled in a different way, potentially by AI, right? And so I do think from a skills standpoint, you do have to become more flexible. When you look at past, you mentioned your job descriptions of the past and how you did things this way, and you had these tiers of, I'm going from junior to entry level to senior to whatever, platinum, and just focusing on one narrow skill set, whereas I think you're going to have to pick up a more diverse skill set. And so that's my point of view on that.
Oh, well, I also think that skills are only one piece of the puzzle. Talent development is basically where those skills truly come to life, driving retention, engagement, and growth within the organization. And this is where data and AI are also making transformative impact, not just in identifying what those skills are, but also in nurturing them through, let's say, smarter onboarding or insightful feedback, or offering maybe personalized performance reviews, something that Imran also mentioned. So, seeing tools like SAP's Copilot Joule, and they are basically redefining the way that HR interacts with talent. Similarly, at Simos Cloud, we also have our feedback programs and AI driven performance coach, and they basically show how we can empower leaders and employees alike. So, Ilya, maybe you can share, what do you think is the most, let's say, exciting development in AI powered talent development tools?
Oh, definitely something that Imran already touched upon is the so-called AI agents that we are hearing all
Mhm.
around the globe from whatever perspective, that you are chatting actually with the AI copilot, which is uh, giving you feedback from a certain perspective, whether it's the compensation, total rewards, the feedback part, and so on. And this is very much in line with something that we as Simos Cloud have been developing so far. We call it AI for coaches, AI performance coaches for managers. Sorry, these we know that managers in general have the biggest challenge is balancing operational demands that they are having with the needs to support to develop their employees effectively. So AI agents are here to step in and bridge this gap, so they can analyze the data from multiple sources, performance reviews, as Imran mentioned, feedback trends, engagement surveys, giving based on that summarizations to the managers in order to lead them to the next steps that they need to take further for that particular employee. For example, an agent can highlight areas where team member might need support or recommend specific learning resources and so on. So I think that these parts will even more taking the lead in the very near future, will not be definitely far from now, that will help managers to develop their employees with the end goal of bringing the great business goals and achievement of the business goals and business growth at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Perfect. Thank you, Ilya. So, as we approach the end of this session, I think this is a great opportunity for us to reflect on some, let's say, actionable insights. So, HR leaders have a crucial role in shaping the workplaces of tomorrow, and it all starts with taking deliberate steps today. So, I would like to ask you, what's that one step that maybe HR leaders can take today in order to prepare for the future of rewards, skills, and talent development? What's something that HR leaders can implement right now?
Who would you like to go first? Me or Ilya? Or?
I'd love it if you go.
Imran?
Yeah.
Well, I guess part of it depends on where you already are in your journey, right? So if you're at a place, kind of like what we talked about earlier, where you have a rock solid core, your employee data is good, people are entering time, your people are being paid. Okay, now let's focus on it. Now let's focus on AI. Let's roll. If you're a SuccessFactors customers, let's roll out Joule. Let's put the talent intelligence hub in place. Then let's build a rewards and recognition program like what CMOS does, right? I spent years at SAP. I love the Appreciate program. I got thousands of dollars over the years, so I was a big fan of that. So, putting that in place, because I think that does help drive retention and recognition and people to feel special, right? Because especially when I was at SAP, you had, different teams that often worked together, but you didn't report to these people. So that, program to me was very helpful for you to recognize a colleague that, you have no direct traditional org chart relationship with, right? But once again, it starts with the core, and then you put in programs such as that can really, create a good culture at your organization.
Thank you. Ilya?
I would say definitely aligning all of these that even just mentioned, like aligning the core, the rewards part, recognition, talent development, and aligning them with business goals by embracing personalization. Obviously, data-driven strategies, very important part, and technology. So obviously, as we were discussing even at Success Connect, that future of HR lies in fostering adaptability, prioritizing the purpose in creating inclusive, resilient culture to meet evolving workforce that we are facing these days and market demand. So I would say these couple of crucial things are on the radar and should be on the radar for every HR leader in the future.
Thank you for all these powerful insights. It's basically clear that preparing for the future requires not just planning, but also to have courage to innovate and the possibility to adapt to new situations.
So we are really on time. Thank you for both of you, Anna, for co-hosting, Imran for being our guest today. So I would like to really invite everyone who even didn't have the chance to be with us live today. So to watch the recording, obviously, to drop a comment below. We will try to catch up even on some of the topics that maybe Imran was speaking about. So we'll be following up with him, and we'll be happy to release all of the innovations that we have prepared for you in the following period. So follow our page as well. Thank you everyone for joining us today.
All right,
Thank you
thank you.
all. Bye bye.
Bye
See you.
bye.